The difficulty with the blissed out bliss is that even though it is temporarily ecstatic, it is also temporary. This is not the only way in which being blissed out does not produce the truly revelatory states of mind associated with realization. When the kinds of agonizing experiences all of us in the human realm find themselves tortured by occur, temporary ecstasy is not that helpful. Being temporarily blissed out not only removes us from the source of the pain for the short time, it does not enable us to solve the basic problem. Old age, sickness, and death still remain the fundamental conditions associated with having a body, the source of the pain. And of course, there are always the sources of pain associated with having a mind, namely damaging emotional states and intellectual impairment. So how does the bliss that is not temporary, not artificially removed from our fundamental painful situation generated? This is where Pöa enters the scene. Instead of temporarily removing conscious states from the sources of pain, Pöa uses the structure of the body to open our consciousness to the enduring sources of joy that are an integral part of that very structure. The structure of the body I have just referred to is more complicated than that which is normally pictured in biology textbooks. According to both Buddhist scholars and Buddhist portrayals of the body, there is more than one structure understood as our body. This other structure is not physical in the same way that we typically understand physicality. It is usually called a subtle body or a Vajra body. It is comprised of channels, energy winds, and what Lama calls drops of subtle liquid energy, he referred to as tigles. The mind rides on the subtle winds through the channels. Within these channels there are channel wheels or chakras. At the center of the subtle structure, there are three principal channels. The central channel is the one that is responsible for enlightened understanding. The problem that we humans struggle with comes about because the two side channels that are not associated with spiritual realization wrap themselves around the chakras in the central channel. This makes it very difficult for the energy winds to travel through the central channel without being blocked by the knots in the chakras. Pain is created by the blockages. Lama Yeshe says that the effects of these knots create direct result on the channels. They are shriveled up, shrunken instead of silky open and radiant like a rainbow. The wind energy cannot flow unimpeded through the chakras. This is especially damaging to the chakras at the heart and the throat. When the blockages are removed and the knots are untied, the channels open and expand. The wind energy on which the mind rides flows unchecked. Bliss results. When I asked Khenpo Sotram about bliss, he told me that this bliss allows your natural wisdom to be revealed. The natural wisdom he was talking about, by its very nature, includes the radiance of joy. That radiance is a fundamental constituent of enlightened mind. When the chakras are unblocked and bliss results, nothing is being added from somewhere else in order to generate that bliss. The four joys that are experienced are aspects of the nature of what already exists as components of the very body that causes us so much pain. It is Pöa that reveals the bliss of the four joys in Chöd practice. In the next blog, I will talk about bliss, Pöa, and compassion, and the foundation of Chöd that is built on these three.